So our first guest, we talk about pride and different things like that. So this time we're gonna talk about a little bit about relationships. My first guest is a brother I grew up with, my man Kelvin. He was born in South Jamaica, Queens, South Side. We outside. Graduate of Morehouse, so historical black college. Our brother's a smart man, very smart brother there, and he has a book out. He's the author of a book called Dare to Journey. It was a blog. Sorry, Dare to Journey, the blog about covers middle-aged people in multitude of different topics. So, Jamie, can you bring in our first guest tonight, or our second guest tonight, light-skinned Kelvin?
Yeah. What's up, light-skinned Kelvin?
What's going on, family? Black people. What's going on?
That's Kelvin with the good hair.
Yeah, I'm
oh man. So Kelvin, man, listen, man, who is Kelvin Abney?
Kelvin Abney, as you stated, born from Southside Jamaica, Queens, New York. Very proud. I carry that flag. A lot of people who are not from that neighborhood just don't understand. Very proud. Attended Morehouse College, as you stated. Graduate from Morehouse with a psychology degree. Ultimately, I've earned my MBA from Keller Graduate School of Management in Atlanta. And I'm a jack of all trades, man. I love just figuring things out. I've always been like that since I was a child up until now, and that's why I'm in operations for Amazon as an operations manager, and just trying to dig deep to determine what problems there, lie, and look for solutions to fix those problems. That's who I am, and I love life. I love playing chess. I love sports still to this day. I work out, and I love traveling, and I do what I do. That's all I can say.
That's what's up, man. So Brad saying what's up. Two Calvins. Listen, Kelvin, I tell you not a lie. To Steve's inauguration as mayor, I always thought your name was Calvin.
For real? Hey, Didi, check this out. No, listen, I'm talking to the group. My mama thinks my name is Calvin. She named me Calvin. She called me Calvin.
Yo, I think it's the same thing. I don't know what the big deal is.
I understand.
Let me say this. All those names are knockoffs of Kelvin. Kevin, knockoffs of Kelvin. But Kelvin, let me say this. First of all, thank you for joining us. I also wanted to go to Morehouse. Only thing is they had some type of GPA requirement back then at SAT. But outside of that, I would have gone if it wasn't for that problem. But I just want to say, you've done a lot to really, really kind of empower people as they've grown older. And, we have this thing about middle age. I didn't even realize I was middle age until I did the math. I just really, really thought middle age was like some older person or whatever like that. But what I realize now, and you can speak on this, you feel young, depending on how you take care of yourself. You still relate to younger people. And as a result, but your birth certificate keeps going further and further away from you. So it's like, you kind of in that kind of middle area. But what is the biggest challenge you think it is with people as they get a little older and they get to those mid to late 50s and early 50s? What do you think the challenge is dealing with people as far as their esteem is concerned?
In regards to a great question, in regards to their esteem, I think sometimes people get so caught up in what they're doing and what they're involved in that they kind of lose hope on what their purpose was. So the bottom line is, like, for instance, when we're growing up, right, you felt that you wanted to be a baseball player, or you wanted to go to college, or you wanted to do this, that, and the other. So there was always some level of drive to be able to do those things that you hope to do. I think for middle-aged people, they feel that, okay, I'm at this age right now, I'm raising children, I have this job that I hate or I might love. But based on my assessment, a lot of people don't love their job, and they just get caught into the rigmarole of life, and they kind of forget about themselves. So ultimately, it's really about understanding your position, realizing where you are, realizing what you would like to achieve, come up with goals and a plan in order to achieve those things, and just get started.
Nice.
One day at a time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kelvin, what do you think about a person? Like I said, we're talking about people achieving their goals and all of that. You mentioned that. what do you think about people who, let's say I'm a certain age and I feel as though I have not accomplished enough? All right, because it seems like that is another thing another ribbon that's kind of going through our age group. You know, a lot of people who may have looked around and said, I have not accomplished enough. I'm looking at my friend, I'm looking at my cousin or my friend, you know, I'm looking at someone on TV, and they seem to as though they've accomplished so much more than I have, you know. How do you deal with that at this age, you know what I mean? Or how do you find like what's important to yourself? You know, what do you think about that?
Well, accomplishment is all relative. You know, it's based on what you think you accomplish and what you feel is important to you. You know, if you go based on the media, you know, you look at all these stars, rap stars, Jay-Z and so on, or you look at these actors and actresses, if you base your life on those things, you're going to always fail. You know, they have achieved what they achieved based on their level of understanding and so on. You have to understand yourself. You know, and for example, you know, I spoke to a young man in his 40s, and he was content being a janitor. Real talk, you know, and that's always kind of frowned on. Oh, you're a janitor? No, I love my job. I've been at it for 19 years, and I'm very successful. Not only am I doing that job, I'm respected. I'm also doing other things outside that job, and I'm able to, you know, to basically supply for my family. And I go to work on time each day. And if you really think about that, he put things into perspective, because what you think is success is based on what you think, not based on what other people think. So you can't really compare yourself to other people. So I think a lot of people need to step away from comparing themselves to what they see out in the media or what they might hear, and just love themselves for who they are and what they're doing in life.
Right. Light-skinned Kelvin. Midlife crisis, is it real?
It's what you consider. It depends. You know, I mean, you can't dispute that you're getting older. Mm-hmm. You know, for a long time I had hair on my head. I had zero gray until like a couple of years ago. I was very athletic. You know, I would play ball and I would compete against people in their 20s or whatever, and I would kill them. You know, and so, but as you get older, you know, you begin to realize that, you know, yeah, I'm at that age right now, and people talking about retirement, and then, you know, you don't move like you used to. The family dynamics have changed. You personally have changed. A lot of things that you thought was very important when you were growing up is not as important anymore.
Correct.
You know, and it's all about simplicity in life, at least for me anyway. And so, yeah, middle age is real. It really is. But it doesn't mean that it needs to hinder you or stymie you in your position in life. You got to still continue to move forward and enjoy life.
Yeah, but do you think that basically hinders a lot of males? Like, basically, like they just won't accept it very well, and basically it causes. I know a particular person that basically that kind of causes a little bit of depression as a result of that. And I try to explain to him, Father Time is undefeated, and basically we all get old, but the thing is, you got to keep moving. You got to keep doing your thing. But do you see that in a lot of men?
Yeah, I don't see it in a lot, but I do see it in some. Okay. Some people do struggle with getting older and dealing with those challenges. But I think it's important to be able to incorporate yourself with a circle of people who continue to support you. So basically, you got to have a support system. Correct. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you got to believe in you. You know, regardless, as you stated, you cannot control time. That's one thing we can control. You got to take advantage of every second that we have. And in doing that, you know, you got to wake up in the morning saying, okay, you know, is the glass half empty or half, you know, or half full? So it's based on your perspective and the way that you think. And so if you think positively, thinking like, okay, you know what, I woke up this morning. Despite my age and the things and the struggles that I'm dealing with, I woke up this morning. That's a kickstart into making your day a better day and your life a better life.
Good. I agree 100%. Light-skinned Kelvin.
And also, you know what, I think people are first of all healthier now. I mean, when I was a kid, I thought somebody 50 must have looked like they was 100 years old. And now you look at Jamie Foxx is over 50, Jennifer Lopez is over 50. It depends. The only thing I will say is I don't try to walk around acting 20 or looking 20 or whatever. I think that's the thing. Somebody once made this statement, which I love, is celebrate the season you're in. You know what I'm saying? I'm this age. I don't want to be 20 again because I've done that. I've been 30. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to walk around trying to sound like teenagers and things. And I think that's one of the issues because it looks ridiculous. Whenever you hear somebody, older and they try to sound like using the terms of today and all this stuff like that, it just looks ridiculous. I don't know if you ever encountered that, but I do, and it looks horrible to me.
Yeah.
I have personally, I used to be a critic of, older men or older people in general, where they still try to wear the fashion of people who are like in their teens and 20s, and they just look absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You need to embrace who you are and your age and respect that it is what it is, and just live life, man. Just chill out, enjoy. And a case in point, again, begin to get gray hair. Initially when I began to grow my gray goatee, man, I was like, because always, was clean shaven. I love my joint. I love my joint now, because it's me. So
yeah, it's who you are.
I know we had a couple of comments. I just want to say, Jamie, can you bring? I think Brad had a comment. A few people had some comments. I want to make sure we talk to the audience.
If you feel like you're missing out on a few certain things, you can still participate in them now. Maybe at a different speed, and all the other things you've done are not wasted, simply experienced. That's pretty deep, man.
Good point.
Yeah, I appreciate the confidence and self-esteem I have now in my 40s that I didn't have in my 20s. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's weird to be old and sexy at the same time. All right. I can't stand when guys my age, my son's age, hit on me and act like the age difference is not an issue. Creepy. Hey, fellas, man, we're hunters, man. We're natural hunters. Right, so I stay y'all by saying no cap. Hey, Kevin, we gotta get some new slang, man. Get some young people slang, man.
Kevin, how do people deal? Like, we all middle-aged people, right, men like that, and somehow middle-aged people are still looking for relationships, lasting relationships, and a lot of people bring in some of that old baggage. People say baggage or that toxic stuff into the relationship. It's kind of hard for you to meet people because a lot of people have a lot of toxic stuff in their past. How do you think to tell people our age to deal with a person that might have some of that baggage, but they're in love with that person and they can see the potential, but they want to see how can they help that person shake that baggage off?
Well, first off, it starts with transparency. You have to be upfront. You have to put everything on the table. There's no time for games. There's no time for lies. There's no time for deception. You have to be honest with yourself and with the other person, and with hopes of them doing the same. And you got to discuss those things and be honest about them. And as a person in a relationship or a potential relationship, you got to determine if it's going to work for you. So you got to be honest with yourself first, because so many times, you might connect with someone and you might believe that, hey, this is the person that I want to be with. But you got to be sure that you can create your boundaries and be sure that they meet every criteria that you feel that is essential for you to have a successful relationship with them. That's where it starts. So it starts with honesty, and transparency. That's the first start.
Okay.
But no future in front,
What is that?
There's no future in front, and that's what the
no future in front. It's just I feel bad for a lot of the women. I like, I mean, a lot of guys, man, they bring in a lot of childhood drama into trying to be grown men with the drama, and they never face it as a child. So it's like it's kind of hard. I got a lot of female friends that good women that just can't find good guys. I mean, they got good guys, but the guys don't see the good in themselves because they got a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of brokenness, and I think there's a lot of things. Some people haven't grown up, and people's maturation process is different. And that's what I like. What you do, Kelvin, is at least let people know. Listen, you getting older is not a death sentence. You know what I mean? I remember one time a lady was like, she wanted to be a doctor, but she's like, I'm 40. I'm about to be 40. And somebody's like, you're going to be 40 anyway. You might as well go after trying to do what you want to do. I mean, at the end of the day, go for it. Because, I mean, as long you don't know how much road you got in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, because to me, that's what gets you up in the morning. Challenges, going after things, having aspiration. You know what I mean? And so there's certain things I look at now. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Kelvin. There's certain things that aren't as important to me. Cars aren't as important to me as they were when I was 20 years old.
That's
I mean,
a fact.
people like, oh, I know a lot of grown men, and I'm not knocking them, that's into video games and sneakers. Means nothing to me. I got a car. I don't care what sneakers I got. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, hey, life changes. But whatever you find, solace in, go for it. But the main thing is that you go for something, and that's kind of what I like, that you've dedicated it to people. At this age that may have given up, because sometimes it is, you're offering somebody a jump start. You know what I'm saying? Work like me. I want to work on getting in shape. I've never actually been in great shape. So I want to see, you know what I'm saying? I see you look like you all swole up. I'm swole up on the inside. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to work it out. You know what I'm saying? But I plan to get there, and that's a goal of mine. You see what I'm saying?
And you're 100% correct, my brother. Coming out of Southside Jamaica, Queens, first off, beautiful neighborhood, beautiful. I mean, just absolutely. You think we were living down south based on the environment?
True.
Until drugs rolled in.
Your drugs fucked us all up there.
Yeah, it jacked us up, and so at that point, it became super crazy. You didn't want to walk down the street. You didn't want to walk, to the boulevard, what have you. And then at that point, you was wondering if you was going to live to achieve 18 years old.
True.
I actually felt that way. And so when I attended high school, I couldn't wait to graduate from high school and then get out of there. And I did. I bounced out. I went down south. I had opportunities to stay in the city, to attend any university. But I wanted to leave New York for several reasons. One, because of the craziness. And secondly, I just wanted a fresh start. And you have to look at it. You have to look at that perspective based on what you just said. You can't just give up on life based on your current circumstances. It is what it is. It's real. It hurts or it might feel great. It depends on how you're feeling. But at the end of the day, there's always hope. So it's based on your mindset. So if you wake up and make your mind up and say, listen, you know what? Today's going to be a better day. That's where it starts. Then at that point, you got to determine what your goals are. Create a plan to achieve those goals and just start working at it. I don't care if it's at a snail pace. If you believe in what you're trying to achieve, you can do it. It doesn't matter what you went through. It doesn't matter what your current conditions are. You can actually achieve those things. So to your point, brother, you're 100% correct.
Kev, I'm gonna ask you a question about in your story about relationship, part of your story. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, relationships are critically important. It depends on what you mean by that. One being, I believe in support systems. And having support systems in life are critically important. My initial support system was with my family, with my mom, single family, single mom. I didn't have my dad around, and I had my brothers and sisters. And so I had that initial support system, and then venturing out, doing things outside of where I was raised. I began to develop additional relationships with friends that I attended college with. And then through, my fraternity and other organizations that I became a part of, I thought it was critical to develop those relationships that created that support system based on the needs that you have. Everybody's support system is unique. And for me, with having it, it allows you to have some level of sustainability depending on what you're dealing with, good or bad, in order to project you to where you try to achieve. Without a support system in life, it's very difficult. And I think a lot of people deal with those circumstances. And that's why you have, a lot of people committing suicide. You have people dealing with a lot of anxiety issues leading into depression and things of that nature because they don't have that support system. And not to say that won't happen even if you have that support system, but having a support system can kind of lead you out the way and help you venture into, brighter days.
You're right, Melvin. We saw that comment, Melvin. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rodney.
They lost? I'm sorry to interject. The Knicks lost?
The Knicks lost.
They lost 103 to 89.
It's a wrap, man. Well, listen, we were happy.
We got Brooklyn still.
Yeah, fuck Brooklyn. Hey, Kelvin. This came across the water. Kelvin, there's a few people on this podcast that didn't believe in my Knicks. When I saw them in the first game in training camp, in the preseason, I'm not gonna say no names, but it's not me. It's 3 other people in that it wasn't what I was always rooting for. I was happy they made it to the playoffs.
I think D is absolutely right. I just don't know if tonight is the best timing for that statement.
Yeah. or doing this interview. But I wanted to ask you a question, Kelvin. Along with relationships too. You know, I know you said transparency in relationships, and I'm talking about relationships, you know, with wives, girlfriends, stuff like that. Transparency, and side chicks, and transparency, honesty. I always kind of notice too. I think maturity also is a huge factor in relationships. I think that basically, you know, you have to find somebody that's on your same level. You know what I'm saying? Do you find that to be true?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I don't care how bad she look, how smart she is, how much money she has. She's not right here with you.
Yeah,
it's going to be a problem.
Typically,
you got to be able to coexist. You got to be able to relate. You got to ultimately be able to support each other's needs. You know, and so you know, it's got to be a balance in every relationship, I believe. And if that person's not meeting your needs, they might meet your needs here, if you know what I mean. But they don't meet your needs here and in other aspects of your life.
Wait,
and you're right.
When you said meet your needs here, shouldn't it be a little lower? Like when you had your hand?
Yeah.
Hey, the words that come out of Rock, these views are from Rock.
I didn't say nothing. I asked the man a question.
I mean, you know, listen, I can keep it raw now. I mean, I can be raw. You know, I can be raw, but you know, I'm very honest. But it just can't be, you know, 1 or 2 things. You know, and don't get me wrong. Every relationship's not going to be perfect. You know, but it's got to be a good balance where those needs are met on both sides.
Yeah.
Yo, Kelvin, what you said right. It's like the needs people don't understand. Like people think when some people say needs, they think financial needs. No, it's emotional needs. Listen and be heard needs. Those kind of things, the little thing needs. I think people get them mixed up with the money aspect of like when somebody says needs. And Lisa, yes, we saw the Yankees still win. That's right. We still got one New York team doing well.
Yeah. The thing is, money don't always stay. Money comes and goes. If your relationship based on money, you ain't got a strong relationship at all.
Go ahead, Kelvin. I'm gonna say Brad comment, but go ahead, after you comment, I'm gonna bring Brad comment back up. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, I made a lot of money in my lifetime, and I lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, and money's all relative. You know, it comes and goes. You can't take it with you to the grave. But what's golden to me, what is the most important aspect for me in life, and you can't put it's just too rich to be having that person that's going to be able and hold you down. That person that's going to hold you down, that can relate to you, that love you and respect you, that can understand you. I'd rather live in a hut versus have $1 million and be with the wrong one.
Correct.
Oh,
if you are a giver, the worst thing you could do is find yourself with a taker. Correct. That is a terrible combination.
You become an enabler. You know, and you getting those what is that, codependent relationship.
Listen, you're talking to 2 dudes, Rodney and myself, that went through some hardcore divorces, and I'd rather we slept on couches, lived with other relatives than to stay in that.
Whoa! Don't make it seem like we lived on the couch together. We didn't do that. See, I gotta watch your ass.
We're not Bert and Ernie.
Okay, no, we're not Bert and Ernie. We lived on couches separately in separate places.
Right.
So somebody got some question right there.
Yeah, Quilla asked a question. How important is it to have a common love language in a relationship? What do you think?
Love language is important. I mean, I forget all the love languages, so don't get me wrong. But you know, there are definitely some love language needs. You know, some are based on service, level of service, based on my remembrance. I forget the whole love language thing, but I've read about it and it's critically important. And I think that you got to understand your mate. Yeah. You got to understand your mate, what makes them tick, what turns them on, what turns them off.
You need to know the offs more than the ons.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, sometimes, for instance, back in my day, I was kind of rah-rah and my mate didn't really respond to that so well. I had to learn how to pull back and respect that they didn't respond well to that, and then how to approach that person in a more loving way. And believe it or not, I got more results that way. So you got to kind of understand it's not always based on, this is the way it is, this is the way we're going to do it, this is the way I've been taught, and I'm the man. Nah, it doesn't quite work like that. A real man, in my opinion, is being able, and it's the same thing for women, a real woman too. You got to understand your mate, understand what motivates them, understand what makes them tick, understand what pisses them off. And then making those adjustments. Have you ever been like on a skateboard, and you just don't get on the skateboard and you're just riding down the street and it's all the same? No, you're going to hit a pothole here. You got to know how to maneuver. You're driving your car on the Van Bush Expressway. You got to know how to maneuver around those potholes. You got to be adaptable. That's just the bottom line. But you got to also be perceptive. You got to understand and sit back and listen. Keep your mouth shut, listen, try to seek understanding before you promote action.
Well, and then also you got to implement the one thing that I learned in life. There's 2 things you cannot tell a woman. One is a lie. The other is the truth. And once you learn that right there, then you are fine. You are fine. That was a joke, lady. That was a joke, lady. That was a joke.
Listen, I want to tell our listeners that we're going to probably extend it 10 minutes over the time tonight, because we're having some great conversation between Brittany and Kelvin tonight. Yeah. So I just want to make sure that Jamie, can you do me one thing? Can you bring up, I think as a question I saw from Brad a few ticks back? Yes, that's it right there.
A wise mentor once told me, remember the 3 S's: survival, success, and significance. A lot of us come from environments where survival takes priority. That's only a small part of the equation. That's a good point. Very good point. Kelvin, really quick question though. So you're middle-aged, we're all middle-aged, and you got middle-aged singles watching. Where do they go to find their ideal mate? Whatever that means. If it means marriage, if it just means jump off on the weekends, I don't know. What do you do? How do you get that? How do you reach that goal? Of your ideal mate. What do you do? What's on the line for that?
Number one is just understanding yourself and what you need. That's the first thing before you jump out there, because you go based on, you got to go to church, or you got to go hang out at the bar and all that stuff like that. That's all old school and it's all mythical, but you got to understand yourself first and what your needs are. That's the number one priority. Because if you do not, then you're not going to find who you need, because you don't understand yourself. So understand who you are, get yourself together, get your foundation right, determine what your needs are. Like for instance, some people might, really want a marriage. Some people might want a relationship and they're good with that. I've seen both work. Yeah. So you got to determine what you really need first. And then secondly, obviously you want to go ahead and engage in social events, and the right social events. I mean, you go to the booty club and get it in, do what you if that's you, that's you, but you got to make sure that you put yourself.
Don't say nothing, D. She's going to say something.
Long time ago.
No, I'm not going to put my finger like that. I'm going to go like this.
Right? Long time I have to make it rain.
Right. You got to position yourself for success. So ultimately, it's like anything else. You want to work hard and get that promotion. You do what it takes to get that promotion. You position yourself. You want to buy a house. You save your money. You get your credit right. You do what you have to do to position yourself. You want to work out. I don't care how big you are. You got to start. It starts here. I want to do better. Yep. Then you come up with action plans to do it. I don't care. Once again, if it's at a very snail pace. It's about consistency and that drive to do better each day. And so that's the same thing in relationships. Position yourself. No, number one, determining what your needs are, knowing yourself. Secondly, I neglected to mention, if you're going through some drama, you got to heal. You have to heal. You cannot create a relationship or a new relationship with anybody if you haven't healed from the past. You got to fix that first. You got to fix that. Whatever it is, fix it. Then at that point, determine what your needs are. Then you begin to position yourself to get those things that you're looking for. I'm not saying you got to flag out, I'm single, I need somebody. No, just put yourself in those environments that's going to make you successful in finding what you need.
Kevin, that's very true, because like I said, broken children become hurt men. So one question real quick, how important is it for good physical health for yourself and happiness with good physical health?
Physical, you said physical, like working out?
Yeah, working out. How's it building fit to your happiness?
For me, I love it. I love working out. I love looking good. And I love feeling good as well. You know, so when I don't physically feel well, or if I look kind of crazy and I look myself in the mirror, I'm like, you know, I got to get it together. You're not going to have the level of confidence that you would as if it was different, like, you know, you're on your peak. You know, so for me personally, I'm 54 years old, just turned 54 April 20th.
Happy belated birthday, brother. 420? 420 was your birthday?
April 20th.
Ooh,
yes.
Man, that's a good day.
yeah, for a whole bunch of things, right? right. But
me and Rod are just saying.
Yeah,
I didn't say nothing.
Yeah, I don't partake, but I get you. But I've always been into physical fitness since I was a kid. I mean, I don't know, Didi, if y'all remind, you know, I always played ball.
Oh, you was always in good shape. This motherfucker walk around with a shirt off back when we were kids. I had man titties when I was small. Like, come on,
hey, Didi, listen. Hey, Didi, but I'm gonna bump for you, Didi. Hey, Didi, I'm gonna bump for you. Nobody messes with you though. Nobody messes with you though, Didi.
I know that's true.
Nobody messing with you, boy.
No,
Yo, Kelvin, who do they say you look like? Because I just realized who you look like. I was trying to put it together. Who do people say you look like?
LL Cool J to me.
Why you gonna put me in a spot like that? They come that look like LL, or he looks like me because I'm older than he is. Shit, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yankee Cat, I got Gary Sheffield, and I got Iverson.
I can see a little Ivan. I can see Gary Sheffield though.
I see AI.
I don't see AI. I see Gary Sheffield, but I don't see AI.
Well, can you transfer some of that money into my account?
Oh, we gotta get to top 5 though.
Your top 5. Yeah. Before you go, who's your top 5 MCs of all time, bro?
Oh man, y'all gonna take it there with me. Oh man, Biggie, love Biggie. Yeah, Biggie was super versatile, man. I mean, he was just nasty, right? But to be honest, my number one joint, Nas. Nas is nasty. Yeah. I mean, you have to sit back. I don't care if you into this or this or this. Sit back and listen to his joints. And I'm from old school now, 54. Nas is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
only album I didn't like the one he did with Kanye West.
Kanye West is cool.
The Nas album produced by Kanye West was trash.
Oh yeah. I didn't quite. That wasn't my favorite by no means. I don't know. You know, as you know, with production, because I play music as well. There's a lot of things behind the scene. You know, so but obviously they're gonna put the stars in a highlight with the names and things like that. But
we got 3 more to go, bro. 3 more we got.
Oh, 3 more, man. You're gonna put me on the spot. All right, so yeah, you got Nas, you got Jay-Z.
We got 2 now, down to 2.
Let's see, Jay-Z, yeah. Believe it or not, man, I gotta go West Coast on this one.
MC Hammer.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Don't sleep. You know, I like this dude. Ice Cube is pretty tight.
No, Ice Cube is good.
Ice Cube is pretty tight. You know, I mean, you know, there's some things, you know, I would have changed his rhymes up on, whatever, but he's pretty tight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When he left NWA,
MC,
he was tight.
Yeah.
And MC Light is funky.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I have to throw a woman up in there because she's dope.
She's dope.
Yeah. She's MC Light was dope.
Yeah, she was dope. She was dope.
I believe she's the greatest female rapper
ever. Ever.
Yeah. So Kelvin, before you go, what do you want to say to how can the people find you? where to follow you at, or your Instagram, Facebook, or and talk about your blog, or anything.
Yeah, I'm on all those things. I'm at www.kelvin, KELVIN, Abney, ABNEY.com. www.kelvinabney.com. And I talk about a myriad of different topics, let it be from physical, mental, or spiritual health. I just keep it real, and everything I say comes straight from my heart. It is either from my personal experience or people that I spoke to. And the bottom line is that I just want to encourage people to not give up on life. I know life is hard. We're dealing with a lot. We're trying to balance so many different things, from family to maybe death from COVID to job loss to a breakup. It doesn't stop. Only you can determine if you want it to stop or not. And I don't think you've been placed on this planet for it to happen that way. So you got to get out that cave, do what you got to do positively now, right? And come back into the light and wake up and start day one on creating a plan. There's always day one, in my opinion. It's always day one. So that's my purpose. I think that, I was gifted to do that. I always talk to people. I want to try to encourage them to see a brighter day. I've been also gifted with that from other people when I had my had downtimes. And that's the purpose of my blog. That's me in the general. I'm super cool. That's just me. And just love life. That's just the bottom line. And then ultimately, I would like to thank each and every one of you guys to have me on this podcast. I'm very thankful. I would like to eventually write a book and then do bigger and better things. And this is just a stepping stone in the right direction. I'm very thankful and humble for the opportunity.
Thank you, my brother. You're a brilliant man with a brilliant name. I stand by.
Oh my God!
It ain't Kelvin, it's Kelvin.
That's right. That's right.
Man, look at it. We got the privilege of having two Kelvins, light skin and dark skin Kelvin. We got the light skin one that like Michael Jackson. Got the dark skin one just like Michael Jackson. Listen, brother, I love you, man. We gotta get up, man. I'm glad that you're in the area, back in the area, man. So we're gonna hang out. I know Jamie's coming up at the end of the month, so you got to rock out with us, man, when we go out on the town.
No doubt. Right? You already know how we do. Rockaway crew.
That's right, baby. That's right. Southside, we outside. All right, man. Love you, man. Peace, man.
Love you too, brothers.
Up, man.
All right. Peace. All right. Take care, bro.